Hey guys, it's Ben from Fantasy Football Dome. I'm going to be giving you your quick week one recap against the Titans and then also a preview for week two versus the Carolina Panthers. Um, week one, very close game. Randy Bullock missing a field goal, meaning the Giants win 21-20. It was a great game. It was very intense. Saquon Barkley was incredible. There are still some questions, which I'll get into later, but it looks like we have a decent chance at doing all right this season. So with the game against the Panthers at MetLife Stadium for week two, I'm going to go through my starts and sits. I've only got one start this week, and that's Saquon Barkley, who had an incredible first week, finishing as the RB1 in fantasy leagues and rushing for 164 yards and a touchdown. He was incredible on the ground. He was lined up outside. He was doing everything basically. The Giants relied heavily upon his production, and he was even able to help seal the game on the last defensive drive with a clutch 2-point conversion. Um, and it was just brilliant to see him back in his old form. My sits are basically every other Giants player. Now, while Saquon was great, our receivers were a bit underwhelming to say the least. Kadarius Toney was absent, and I'm going to get into why later on. And if it wasn't for Sterling Shepard's big play, Richie James would have been the leading Giants wide receiver with 59 yards. So I'd be wary about starting Giants players until more roles are solidified later on in the season. Injury report. Wan'Dale Robinson went down early on in the game with a knee injury. He will undergo an MRI scan, but it's not expected to be too serious, which is good news. We also expect to see Azeez Ojulari and Kayvon Thibodeau make their return for week two against the Panthers, and that's going to help out the defense a lot. Daboll also impressed me in week one. This is in other news. He shows the passion that coaches should show for their teams, and he knows what it means, what Giants football means to New Yorkers. I'm not a New Yorker myself, but he showed that he knows what it means to the city, and he knows what it means to the fans, and I think he's going to be a great coach for a while. Players to watch in week two, Kadarius Toney. He, in my opinion, is one of the most talented Giants players. He should start to see more opportunities, and Daboll has stated that he didn't want to stick Toney in too many packages this early on due to injuries over practice and him not being able to he knows the playbook, but he hasn't fully become accustomed to it yet. So I think as the weeks progress, we'll see Toney get more involved with the game. But for now, I still would say keep him on your bench. But I expect to see him get a bigger role as the season progresses. And that's everything from me. So make sure to stay tuned on the Fantasy Football app and website for more Giants news.